It's the Power FM Morning Show.
Welcome back to the show.
Had an interesting thing that I attended this last weekend, and I had a friend who was able to go to like a comedy workshop, how to create a comedy routine kind of thing for stand-up. And yeah. And so he asked me, he and his wife asked me if I'd come to the performance. Tim was invited too, but he had to do something else. So it ended up just me and me. But anyway, it was interesting. This was a guy who'd like been in the industry for a long time, the one that was leading the workshop. And I know he worked with Jim Gaffigan and stuff. So he had a really pretty good, impressive resume. But I went out to dinner with them later, and we were talking about like how they went through the process and what they learned in the workshop. And I thought it was super fascinating because he had them write down they were going for like a 4 or 5 minute routine, which is basically what we're doing right now.
Yes.
But they had to script out every single word, and then bring him a copy of their script, and he would redline things, and he wanted them to go word by word by that script in the stand-up routine. And he worked with them very closely on like what emphasis on specific words and that kind of thing. And I thought that's so fascinating because that would have never flown with like the way that we did work. Because I'll just bring this back up. We've talked about this before. I can't ever tell you what we're going to talk about because you are such a reaction person. Like you're one of those you would be a stand-up comedian that would like work off people in the audience or something like that, because you work off of like reacting to people. And if you hear it for a second time, you absolutely cannot.
I can't do 2 takes.
You
I gotta get it in the first one, you know? Yes.
Absolutely. But I just thought it's so funny how like, I don't know if like other morning shows would script out more than we did. I think they did do more, like ours was just much more off the cuff because of you. I did all the
Essentially.
I did all
You
the
did
prep.
planning, and I just had no idea what was going to happen, and so it truly was my reactions to what you did. And so essentially, if we were in an improv group,
Yes.
you know, that would be more of kind of what we did than going out and having a set and the topics. You know, I remember when we would host comedy shows, and whoever was the comic, I looked down and I saw his subjects that he was going to talk about.
Yeah.
And I was saying, oh, I can see what he's going to talk about. And so I just kind of threw out there, how about that Bible? And he got this really big laugh. And I thought, oh, this is what it's like. And it was kind of addictive. And I go, oh, it's wonderful when this happens. But when it doesn't, oh, I bet it's awful.
Yeah.
And then that's where
I'm
fear
sure.
comes in. You got to be brave. Of course, you got to test things out and see what works.
Yeah.
I guess
And you got to know how to handle it. You have to know how to handle it emotionally when you bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher.
Yeah, because
I'm just saying.
Steve Martin always said comedy is not pretty. And you got to think about these guys that do it all the time, but especially the same routines that people love and doing them over and over again, like Jim Gaffigan with Hot Pocket.
I was just going to, yeah.
He came back on an encore, just like, playing, Freebird or Stairway to Heaven. And he blazed through it.
Yes.
Did it exactly like you heard it on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't give you enough time to laugh. It was like, I'm doing it really fast. Hot Pocket. And I'm out. So
I do remember that.
You enjoyed it, and did you come up with some jokes and get graded or?
Oh, I didn't. They
didn't
ask me. No, they did not ask me to do it. I just watched
there
their
to support them
presentation.
and they performed
Absolutely.
for you.
Yeah,
Did you enjoy it? Were they funny?
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of really good. I have to say, I learned some stuff about some people that I really didn't think I needed to know.
Yeah, throwing people under the bus is one of the big things you do in comedy.
A little TMI sometimes about their lives and stuff. So yeah, it was.
Margaret
interesting
Cho
in that way.
was merciless about her mother. Margaret, why don't you come to church? All your friends are at church. I remember that one. Like it was. I used to watch Comedy Central all the time and see all those routines and whatnot. But here we are. It's 4 minutes and 45 seconds of another 5-minute episode of the Power FM Morning Show here on the Podcast Network. I want to say it's on, something.
I know you keep wanting to say all the things.
On YouTube or
Just keep
wherever
on
your
going.
podcasts are sold.
Remember, it's the words. It's very specific delivery, Chris.
Okay. Bye-bye.